Hello, everybody. Welcome back. So, I am announcing today the 2026 QRI Jhana Visualization Contest. This is actually something I'm really excited about because, you know, I find concentration states, meditation states in general, really utterly fascinating, as well as, really anything that challenges our common sense view of, how consciousness works, how the mind works. Anything that shows us kind of like these extreme corner cases, these gotchas, like, oh, I bet you didn't know your mind and brain could actually do that, right? Like, I am fascinated by it. And I also think it is scientifically very significant, to be able to kind of like create an atlas of possible meditation states. Of course, we're never going to be able to visualize, in exquisite detail everything about a given moment of experience. However, we do want to get to the point where at least, intersubjective ratings are highly correlated, meaning that if I show you, let's say, 8 visualizations, and you just came out of a jhana retreat, exploring the all 8 jhanas, right? And I ask you to, point at the one that is representing the fifth jhana, then point at the one that's representing the third jhana, and so on and so forth. Even today with like very schematic, depictions, I would imagine that, okay, there's a high percentage of agreement, in participants. Similarly, when it comes to psychedelic phenomenology, so the sort of work that we've been doing at QRI for the last year or so involves, generating, for those who haven't seen it, I recommend watching the Oscillator on YouTube, on the QRI YouTube channel we released last November, I believe, where, yeah, effectively we are showcasing how, changing underlying parameters in a dynamic system can generate visuals that then people who are experienced with a wide range of substances will, better than chance, in a sense, like I agree at a better than chance level that, hey, like that visual is DMT, that visual is LSD, that one is, 5-MeO DMT, and so on and so forth. We want to do something like this, but for jhanas, right? Like we want to build up to the point where we have, a physics inspired dynamic system that can be modulated, these parameters can be modulated, with a user interface such that, different configurations of those parameters like actually, very accurately depict what it feels like to be in any of the jhanas, or for them that matter, hopefully, even more general, right? Like a wide range of meditation states. Um, but to get there, we really need kind of like to throw everything at the wall and see what sticks, right? So similarly to 2023, where we created this context where people were submitting their technical psychedelic replications, meaning replications of like psychedelic phenomenology that is like really as precise as possible, even in terms of things such as like, okay, like the flicker frequency, or the resonance between the elements of sensation in the visual field, or the color palette, for example, the way the colors move and drift, and all of those, kind of like getting really precise and accurate depictions. And one of the things that made that contest actually like super cool, honestly, at least as I see it, is that, the judges, they weren't kind of this ivory tower, out of touch, I guess, artists or scientists, or neuroscientists, just kind of like looking at the brain, um, evaluating from afar, like, hey, like, does this look like mushrooms or not? No, these were actually members of the high energy awareness research team in 2023 in Brazil, that we went there to study with physicists and mathematicians and visual artists and meditators, um, essentially like what are kind of these structures, what is the mathematics of the visuals of ayahuasca and psilocybin mushrooms. And so we had like really fresh experience, with these compounds, these agents. And so we were kind of in a quite an excellent position, right? Like, okay, like 5 days ago you had tripped on mushrooms, and 2 days ago on ayahuasca, and like now you're evaluating submissions for just how accurate, these depictions are for capturing the subjective, quality and the structure and the phenomenal character of these experiences. The other thing that actually I found especially inspiring of that contest is that we also ran a psychedelic cryptography, component to it, meaning you could submit entries where you would claim that there's like some secret piece of information that you can only decode if you're high on mushrooms or LSD, a classic psychedelic. Of course, you would also send a part, in a different submission, like what is the encoded information. But here's the thing: people at the retreat didn't know, what was the alleged, encoded information, and so we actually got to, sit there on mushrooms, on ayahuasca, looking at these like 30 different submissions one at a time and trying to decode them. It's like, okay, is there anything hidden here that maybe I have a easier time of decoding than I do normally? And well, in this particular contest, the answer was, well, for the vast majority of the submissions, there really wasn't that much of a difference, actually, looking at them on mushrooms or looking at them sober. As an aside, that's a little bit of a pet peeve of mine, I suppose. There's a lot of people who say like, oh, you're never gonna understand this artist or this musician unless you witness it on psychedelics. And sometimes you witness it on psychedelics, and it's like, hey, actually, this is kind of the same, or it's not that different. But there are some stimuli that produce really different responses in exotic states of consciousness. This is one of the things that we documented in the Brazil retreat. Like what patterns actually look very different on mushrooms, because that's very likely where you will be able to kind of find leverage to create something like effective psychedelic cryptography, right? Like it has to look different on mushrooms than sober if you plan on encoding any information that you can only decode on mushrooms, right? But yeah, that is like the really cool thing about that kind of like contest, is that the judges themselves, had an opportunity to witness these states of consciousness and evaluate the submissions, either by literally being in that state and trying to decode information, or just by the precision of it, how accurately it is depicting those states. This year, we're organizing a 10-day formless jhana retreat in Mexico with a number of like advanced meditators and phenomenologists. And what is really exciting is that as soon as that 10-day retreat ends, we're going to be doing a lot of phenomenology research work, microphenomenology interviews, visualizing our states with software and recording EEGs and so on. But what I find the most compelling and the most exciting is that we're going to be able to evaluate, your submissions for the Jhana Visualization Contest, right? So we will be able to essentially say like, hey, like how accurate is your J4 to J5 transition, experience or something like that. There's a huge number of caveats here, because there's many different teachers who defined jhanas somewhat differently. There's also levels and depths of jhana. There's a lot of confusion. A lot of people kind of like mistake access consciousness for jhana. In some traditions, that is actually the same thing. So, but I don't want to actually get into the weeds of all of those details. In fact, I want the animations to kind of do the work for us, right? Like I want it so that these misconceptions, in a sense, become evident and laid bare once we actually really make an effort to visualize these states of consciousness. So, well, I guess like on very practical terms, I encourage anybody who is listening to this video or watching this video to actually send a submission. It's quite simple, right? Like the most simple submission you can send is, let's say, like a 1-second video depicting, let's say, like the first jhana. And then in addition to it, you just have to explain in no less than 200 words, which is not that much. I mean, I'm sure some of you guys write way more than 200 words in a text message routinely. But yeah, no, like in 200 words, explain the following, which is, what is the kind of like visual coding of the animation? Is like, do the colors mean anything? Are the waves representing anything in particular? Like, let's say, like, is a blue wave representing a wave of sukha or kind of happiness or joy, or is red meaning pity or body pleasure, or what is the coding here? The other thing we want people to include in that description is why they think, this is accurately kind of representing the jhana, or and which jhana, and why, give us a little bit of kind of like context, a little bit of juice to go off by. Uh, and then also we want you to explain like essentially how you personally experienced those states, or like maybe at the very, you could also like do it for somebody else, in which case like hopefully, you include a little bit about like the kind of questions and interview process that you did for somebody who can achieve, attain these jhanic states, um, in order to, depict, in particular, what was like the recipe, right? Like, so one thing we do want the submissions to have is, hey, like if the jhana was instantiated or triggered by, for example, just concentration, focus on the sense of air in your nostrils, for example, like that is like one of the standard techniques, is like you just focus on your nostrils and you ignore anything else that might happen, and naturally you will go through the various jhanas just by doing that. There's another method, for example, which is you first generate a lot of loving kindness, a lot of um, metta, one of the brahma viharas, like a lot of joy, and then you pass on your attention, you pass it on to in other words, you turn it into the object of your attention. And so rather than, like a body sensation, like a neutral body sensation, the thing that you're paying attention to in this case would be like the love, right? Like, or the unconditional love, the loving kindness, the metta, the generosity, the friendship, like those qualities of experience, and then absorb into those, and eventually those may develop into kind of like a love, a flavor version of the jhanas. And finally, there's also like other, much more in a sense pragmatic approaches, maybe more compatible with ADHD, for example. Like for example, Robert Bea like talks about kind of meditative judo, right, or jujitsu, where like you use your intelligence and you're constantly asking like, okay, how can I increase the joy right now, or how can I increase the happiness? You do use thinking, you're not obsessively thinking, but you do use thinking, but thinking about the meditation, and you use your intelligence to kind of like challenge yourself, and wonder, are there inner moves that maybe I am neglecting that could move in the direction of cultivating these jhanas, right? And very likely, depending on the recipe, like what kind of meditation practice you use, the flavor of the jhana will be quite different. And so we do want you to document that, among the 200 words, or, longer if you want, kind of like, hey, like, how did you trigger this? What flavor of a jhana it is. But yeah, other than that, I mean, like, really go wild. Like, I mean, of course, we suspect that things such as, paying attention to frequency and coherence and synchronization and, um, resonance dynamics, field topology, things like these. Obviously, we suspect that QRI are like very relevant for representing and making sense of the jhanas. But I really don't want to kind of like impose that kind of framework on anybody. Like in fact, you could do something with a collage, using crayons and stop motion animation, and not use like any simulations or any math at all, and like submit that video, and that could win. Like it really is a matter of like, hey, are you able to depict the what is it like of these states? Now, as far as kind of the details of the contest and the judgments, right? So we're giving like $500 for each of the jhanas. Kind of each of the jhanas is its own contest, as it were. And then there's also like a $1,000 prize for the kind of like best submission overall. So the way this will work is, for every submission that you provide, and you can provide up to 3 submissions, each up to 2 minutes in length. Um, and then you just have to kind of like tag in your description what periods of time in the visualizations are representing which jhanas. This is just so that it makes it judgeable, right? Like we can actually judge these submissions. And so, for example, your submission could be like a 2-minute video where you're first kind of like ramping up, and you're not yet in a jhana, you're just developing piti and sukha, and then there's a phase transition, and then you enter jhana 1, then maybe it skips to jhana 3, then jhana 2, and then it peters out, and goes back to, let's say, like just piti and sukha, and that's perfectly fine. So in that context, you just have to say like, okay, when you're depicting Jhana 1, Jhana 2, Jhana 3, um, and the way these would like interface with the contest is like, well, because you're depicting Jhana 1, 2, and 3, these submission would enter into the contest for like Jhana 1, the Jhana 2, and the Jhana 3 contest. And it could win any of them, and it could win all of them, in fact, if you have like the best depiction of each of the jhanas, right? I would imagine that, obviously this is going to be correlated, but yeah, no, maybe the person who makes the best Jhana 3 representation is not going to be the same person who makes the best Jhana 1, right? But who knows? Who knows? And then in addition to that, we will evaluate like each of the submissions individually, not taking into account the other submissions of the same author. And just kind of like looking at that as a progression, like taking into account the entire arc and consider the entire submission essentially like an entry for the best overall price. And with that, that would be like 9 prizes, right? Like 8 $500 prizes and one $1,000 prizes. If there's a lot of interest, we might bump up these numbers. Like it obviously depends on, like what are people actually interested in, and if that would actually be helpful. But yeah, I mean, like the absolutely simplest case, you just like submit a 1-second video of like a depiction of like the 6th jhana that you experienced 10 years ago, and that would still be very valuable. Like in fact, I would say like almost kind of like forget about the prices. Like the thing that is the most important here, in addition to having fun and learning and engaging with your own practice and depicting it, is kind of the collaborative building of these atlas of jhana, right? Like we actually will consider every one of the submissions, an important data point, and try to make sense of them in the larger context of the entire atlas. And personally, I very much look forward to like late June, maybe early July, to like really play with visualizing the whole set of visualizations, right? And find in what kind of high dimensional space it is, or like what kind of dimensionality reduction techniques we can apply to it. But yeah, I mean, just on a very practical note, the last day for you to submit these Jhana visualizations is on June 4th. So there's not that much time, unfortunately, for this contest. And yeah, I mean, feel free to use any framework that you want. I mean, you can talk about like Kiki, Booba, you can talk about consonance, dissonance, noise, or any novel framework you can think of. The point is this framework actually helpful to communicate what is it like to experience one of these exalted concentration states? And if the answer is yes, then yes, you're very much on the way of appearing the Hall of Fame for this particular contest. So thank you so much. Well, looking forward to all of your submissions. And yeah, I'm very excited about this area of research more broadly, right? Like visualizations of states of consciousness. And there's so much more down the pipeline when it comes to QRI's work in this area. So infinite bliss, everybody. Take care. Ciao.